Hello, young mathematicians. Today, we're diving into the fantastic world of fractions. In this lesson, we are going to focus on improper fractions. Before we start, let's do a quick review. Fractions are not just numbers. They're a way to represent parts of a whole, and they are everywhere around us. Let's begin our journey to understand different types of fractions and how they work. Understanding basic fractions. A fraction represents a part of a whole, and it has two parts, the top number, called the numerator, and the bottom number, called the denominator. For instance, in the fraction 1 over 2, 1 is the numerator, and 2 is the denominator. Now, let's explore the types of fractions, starting with proper and improper fractions. Proper fractions. A proper fraction is where the numerator is smaller than the denominator, like 3 over 4. It means we have less than one whole. Imagine you have a pizza cut into 4 pieces and you take 3 slices. That's 3/4 of the pizza. Improper fractions and mixed fractions. An improper fraction has a numerator larger than or equal to the denominator. For example, 5 over 3. It means more than one whole. We can also express this as a mixed fraction. To convert 5 over 3 into a mixed fraction, we see how many whole numbers we can get from the numerator. Since 3 goes into 5 once with a remainder of 2 with 5 over 3, this can then be simplified into 1 2/3. Let's move into solving some improper fractions. Improper fractions are those where the numerator, the top number, is larger than or equal to the denominator, the bottom number. To solve them, you typically convert them into mixed numbers. Here are 10 examples of improper fractions and the steps to convert each into a mixed number. Fraction 1, 7 over 4. The solution is to divide 7 by 4, which gives 1 with a remainder of 3. So the fraction becomes 1 3/4. Fraction 2, 9 over 2. The solution here is to divide 9 by 2. Once you divide 9 by 2, you get 4 with a remainder of 1. The mixed number is 4 with 1 over 2. You can also read this fraction as 4 1/2. Fraction 3, 11 over 3. The solution here is 11 divided by 3, which is 3 with a remainder of 2. This then converts to 3 2/3. Fraction 4, 15 over 5. The solution is to divide 15 divided by 5, which gives you 3 with no remainder. It simplifies to just 3. Fraction 5, 8 over 3. The solution is dividing 8 by 3 gives 2, with a remainder of 2. So we end up with 2 2/3 as a fraction. Now let's move on to fraction 6. We are looking at 10 over 4. The solution is 10 divided by 4 is 2, with a remainder of 2. This becomes then 2 2/4, which can be further simplified to 2 1/2. Do you know why? Well, because 2 and 4 are both divisible by 2. Fraction 7, 13 over 6. The solution here is dividing 13 by 6 gives 2 with a remainder of 1. The mixed number is 2 1/6. Fractions 8, 18 over 7. The solution here is 18 divided by 7, which results in 2 with a remainder of 4. This then converts to 2/4 over 7. We are almost to the end of our countdown. Let's move on to fraction 9, which is 14 over 5. The solution is 14 divided by 5 is 2, which gives us a remainder of 4. The mixed number is 2 4/5. Fractions 10, 22 over 8. The solution is dividing 22 by 8, which yields 2 with a remainder of 6. This gives a fraction of 2 6/8, which can be simplified to 2 3/4, because 6 and 8 are both divisible by 2. In each case, the goal is to divide the numerator by the denominator to find out how many whole numbers you can get, and then use the remainder to express the remaining part as a fraction. This process is fundamental in understanding how to work with and simplify improper fractions. If you have made it this far, please pat yourself on the back, do the fraction dance, which is basically a 1-2 step to the left and a 1-2 step to the right. Well done, you. We have more fractions to solve. Just because we are studying math does not mean we cannot stretch and rehydrate. Let's go. We are now moving on to like fractions and unit fractions. Like fractions have the same denominator. For example, 2 over 3 and 3 over 5 are not like fractions, but 2 over 3 and 4 over 3 are like fractions. A unit fraction has a numerator of 1, like 1 over 5. It represents one part of the whole divided into equal parts. Let's now dive into equivalent fractions. Equivalent fractions are different fractions that represent the same amount. For example, 1 over 2 and 2 over 4 are equivalent. We can find equivalent fractions by multiplying or dividing the numerator and denominator by the same number. If we multiply the numerator and denominator of 1 over 2 by 2, we get 2 over 4. Let's not forget about fractions with the same numerator. Fractions with the same numerator can be compared by looking at their denominators. The larger the denominator, the smaller each part is. For example, 3/5 are larger than 3/7 because 3 parts of 5 are bigger than 3 parts of 7. When it comes to practical applications of fractions, there are many usages. Fractions are not just for math class, they are used in real life too. When you share a pizza or measure ingredients for a recipe, you are using fractions. Remember, understanding fractions helps us in dividing things equally and understanding portions in everyday life. In this lesson, we focused on improper fractions. We also explored other types, such as mixed, like, unit, and equivalent fractions, as well as fractions with the same numerator. We will be back to do a deep dive analysis with examples provided for other types of fractions. And that's a wrap on our fraction adventure. Keep practicing these concepts, and soon you'll be a fractions expert. Until next time, keep learning and stay curious.